Hello, this is Brianna Miller, a graduate student research assistant at the Center for Statistical Consultation and Research. Today we will be talking about how to import Excel data into SPSS. The first thing we will need is our data in an Excel spreadsheet. The data that I'm working with today is called the iris dataset, and it contains 5 variables: sepal length, sepal width, petal width, and species, and observations are recorded on 150 irises. Important things about our setup for importing into SPSS are that our variables are listed across our first row, and then each subsequent row is an observation. There are no blank lines, no blank rows above our variable names, nor is there anything extra out in our spreadsheet. Our spreadsheet contains only the data that we want to import. So to import, we can open SPSS, which you can do by clicking on the Start menu, clicking All Programs, IBM SPSS Statistics, and IBM SPSS Statistics 19. The path for that may actually be a little bit different on your computer than it is on mine, and you can also just search here for SPSS if you are running Windows 7, and again you want to select IBM SPSS Statistics 19. So SPSS will take just a moment to open. And when it does open, it will present us with an option to open an existing data source. We can either go ahead and click OK right here, or alternatively, we can navigate to the exact same place using File, Open, Data. Now we will navigate to the place where our Excel spreadsheet is saved. In my case, it is on the desktop. And we will also change this Files of Type option to Excel. And now we can see our Excel spreadsheet. And we will go ahead and click Open. And we have a couple of options. First, in our case, we have our variable names nicely listed in the first row, so we want to leave this box checked. We also can select, if we have multiple worksheets in the Excel book, we can select which one we want to import. And then we can click OK. And we can look at our imported data using this Data View tab. And let's go ahead and compare our SPSS data with our original Excel spreadsheet. A couple of things to notice. SPSS does not allow spaces in its variable names here. So while we have 2 words in our Excel spreadsheet, the space has been removed in our SPSS version. We can avoid that and make things more legible by naming our variables using underscores instead of spaces in our original Excel data. We can also change this under the Variable View option, which I'll show you in just a moment. Another issue seems to be that we have more decimal places in our SPSS version than we do in our Excel data. And again, we'll change this under Variable View. So first, to change our variable names, we can double click and just go ahead and add an underscore. You don't have to do this, it's just to make things a little more legible and easier to read for yourself. We also want to decrease the number of decimals to 1, since in our original Excel data, we only have 1 decimal. So now when we go back to Data View, we see that it looks much more similar to our original Excel spreadsheet. This is also a good time to look at something under the Variable View menu. It's a good time to look at our variable type and measure and make sure that they are appropriate after the import step. In our case, everything has gone according to plan. Our continuous measures have all been imported as numeric variables, and our species variable has been imported as a string or text variable, which is exactly what we want. In your case, if you need to change some of these variable types, you can click these blue dots right here and simply change by selecting one of these options, and when you've selected the option that you want, click OK. It's also important to make sure that our measures are appropriate. So in our case, sepal length is a continuous variable or scale variable, so we will go ahead and click or leave it as a scale variable, which is already selected. And species is a nominal variable, or it creates categories, so we will make sure that it is coded as such. And this just ensures that we will be able to perform all the appropriate analyses using SPSS.